Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create variations of an image. This is a ComfyUI tutorial aimed specifically at beginners. I am actually following up on my last video on going from a sketch to a realistic drawing. One of the comments I received asked how to generate variations. Now, if you just need variations of your final image, the simplest answer is just to click on the run button. My workflow is already optimized so that every time you click on the run button, you will get a new variation. However, I would like to take this question a step deeper. Basically, let's ask the question, what if we want variations of the input sketch image itself? So for example, if you're not confident with your drawing skills and you would like to see different variations of your original sketch, I'm going to use Flux.1 since it is easier to run on my machine, but you can use SDXL, ZImage Turbo, Flux Dev, or Flux.2. Any other model out there will work. You just need to balance out your prompt and play around with the denoising strength. These two variables are what gives you variation when it comes to image. Now, to achieve this, I have a specific section that is utilizing the Qwen-VL. This is just image to text model. It analyzes the image and generates a text description. This text is going to become the prompt. In this case, I asked for bulleted lists of the core elements, and I'm using these points to write my scene. Here you can see I've divided my prompt into two parts. The top section is the style. Since I know I want variation of my sketch, I'm saying sketch here and preserve the original composition and shapes. Now the bottom one is the actual scene, and I've taken the core elements from the analysis at the top, things like human figure is standing upright, and I'm writing the prompt based on what I would like to see. Next, once you have your prompt set, it's just a matter of playing around with the denoising strength. The lower the value, the less variation you'll get. And if you move the slider to the right, basically you will get more significant changes to the output image. Here I have an example. Let's do like you can do 0.5 or 0.6. I would suggest to stay around 0.4 all the way to 0.9. Now for this workflow, because I know that I will have to generate this multiple times, so to make it easier, I've added this load image from output, and what it does is after I get a final image, like an output, when I click on this refresh button here, it's going to grab the last generated image and use it as an input. And well, just to make the connection, I have a switch here, which is going to automatically switch between using the load image at the top or load image at the bottom. If you don't want to complicate things using switches, you can always manually make the connection. So what happens now is simply a loop. Well, not in the true sense, but it's basically going to function as a loop. The workflow will use the output image as the new input image, and it will apply, well, in this case we have denoise at 0.6, and then it will generate a new version. And the moment it completes, the new output goes back to the starting point. So back as an input, and then we just need to repeat this process as many times as you would like, just to iterate your design. Just a quick word on the prompt generation. I've kept this like separated because I want the ability to modify it. For instance, let's say I don't want to have the specific background color. I can remove it and I can change the prompt too. That's why I did not connect the Qwen-VL directly to my main workflow. As a reminder, if you haven't seen my previous video, it covers taking an abstract sketch and then converting it into a realistic version. If you just want a different variation of the same prompt, just click on run button. It's going to give you a different output. If you want a different sort of like variation of your input image, then you can use today's workflow, which is in simple term an image to image loop workflow. So now you should know how to do variations when it comes to your final outputs as well as your initial sketch input image. Thank you for watching until the very end. Have a nice day. Take care. I will see you next time.